Yeah, not too.
No, it's
not
not.
too nice boy.
No, it's good. It's good.
My name's Tom. I've been a big Mercedes fan for a few years now. I've been lucky enough to be invited here today at Mercedes headquarters to sit down with Toto Wolff and have a chat.
Hi, nice to meet you, Tom.
Nice to see you. Thank you ever so much for having me.
Hi everyone. This is a wrap for 2023. You guys have sent in some question, and Tom, who is a great fan of ours, is going to ask me all about it.
First one is from Reddit. What was the proudest moment of the season? And then on the back of that, what was the low point of the season?
It's difficult because there have been so many where we had high expectations and it kind of didn't come as we've expected. I believe maybe Brazil, because that was such a good race for us in 2022. We dominated the whole weekend, the sprint race and the main race, and then in 2023 the opposite was the case. So maybe that was a bad moment. Good moment was Sunday night in Abu Dhabi. I never paid like big attention to P2, P3, you know, you want to come in P1. But then doing it and being able to score that was emotionally and morally important for the team, and that was a good moment.
So we're going to move over to YouTube now, and it says, congratulations on P2. What is something you learned from this season?
A lot, you know, the races and the seasons that are difficult are the ones where you learn the most. And we always say the days we lose are the days our competitors are going to regret, because we learn the most. And I think there's so many lessons that we learned as an organization, as humans, but also technically that will be really beneficial going forward. But I wouldn't even be able to pick one point out because there is so many things that we have looked at that we will progress over the next years.
Toto, pineapple on a pizza, yes or no?
Absolutely not.
No. Moving over to Reddit, we've got, hey Toto, what was in your eyes Mercedes' best race this season and why?
This might sound weird because we got disqualified, but Austin, we brought an upgrade package that worked. The car was performing well. We were hunting down the leader. So now you could say, well, you've been disqualified for a car that was too low, but the genuine performance was there, and that was an enjoyable weekend. And I've always said that I'd rather have a fast car that we haven't tuned in the right way, and obviously you need to finish.
Yeah.
But that was the weekend overall, seeing the correlation between the wind tunnel and track was good.
So sticking with Reddit, we've got, hi Toto, after a season of highs and lows, how do you boost team morale?
It's good that we have an organization where we support each other. It wasn't always me that needed to boost the morale. Sometimes I needed the support, and I guess all of us together we're trying to, you know, pass the baton to each other to perform best at any given moment.
I think as a fan watching on, if you like, I think I've always seen Mercedes as more of a family kind of unit as opposed to kind of individual members of a team where it's sort of a bit of finger pointing or it's that department or this department, whereas I feel like a Mercedes overall have always been no, it's all of us, we're all one team. If something's gone wrong, it's on all of us and everything else. And I think that's, as a fan, it's great to see because you just feel like you're almost part of that as well.
Yeah, I think you want to have you don't want to have a team of superstars, you want to have a superstar team. And that means working together is much more than just being colleagues and on a professional journey. There's so much more to it. And if we know that we are an organization that empowers, that is a safe place, you can achieve so much more. Maybe not every single season, but overall, over the long term, you're going to be in a much better place.
Yeah. So we've got a question now on LinkedIn. It says, in reflection on the 2023 season, what were the key learnings or pivotal moments that you believe will shape the team's approach and strategy heading into next season?
During the year, we realized that our car was not operating as stable as we have predicted. And that is maybe because we didn't develop it in the window that was necessary. And it was clear that the interaction between chassis and tires didn't work perfectly. So in that respect, this was the most important learning.
So another question from LinkedIn is, what is the single most important factor in your performance strategy, Toto?
I think there is no single most important factor. If you look at Formula One, you believe that there is a silver bullet, something that unlocks all the performance in the car, but it isn't. It is all the work on the small items done properly. Yeah. And if you can put all of this together, then you have a winning package.
What are your thoughts on Mick joining Alpine in WEC for 2024?
Mick is a good driver, deserves to be in F1, but there isn't any place free, there isn't any vacancy of cockpit. I think him going into WEC, which is a world championship with a constructor, with Alpine, is a very good opportunity for him. I believe he's going to do a perfect job, and it keeps him sharp racing, and maybe coming back into Formula 1.
Toto, do you still have your pumpernickel for breakfast? And for many others, I'm sure, like myself, can you also explain what pumpernickel is?
Yeah, I still have the pumpernickel. It's my routine on race weekend. It's just a whole grain bread that is very compressed, and I like that in the morning because it's I just feel good after eating it.
Okay, so we've got another one from Reddit now that says, "What's your favourite animal?"
Dragonfly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like dragonflies. I think for me, thinking about it, because I never thought about it why I like a dragonfly, it is the preciseness. Everything is it's designed like or it's born like a Formula 1 car. It's just perfection.
Yeah.
How the wings look and the body.
Yeah. Okay, so
but
now
again, this was pretty spontaneous. I had to think about it longer.
Caught you off guard a little bit there. So I've been lucky enough to be awarded my own questions as well to you. So the first one really is, towards the end of the season, obviously we were very close with Ferrari in the Constructors' Championship. Was there ever a point in your mind where you thought potentially P3 may actually be more beneficial with regards to sort of wind tunnel time for next season? Or was it always in your mind that, no, we want P2, we want the sort of prestige of finishing P2 ahead of Ferrari, the place in the pit lane?
That's a very good question, because obviously it's not one-dimensional. I think from a mindset, whether you finish P2 or P3, if you would have asked me at the beginning of the season, I would have said it's not very relevant. The sporting advantages is that you have more wind tunnel time for next year. I think it's about 7% more than in P3 than in P2. But then it changed, because it is a financial component for all our staff in terms of bonus, and that is, I need to look after everyone together with my senior management, and therefore this is a very important component, even though maybe from the sporting side purely it is not so relevant. But then, having finished second in the World Championship that evening, it felt great.
Yeah.
And I wasn't expecting that, to have that feeling, but you could see a boost of morale and emotion that was going through the team, and that was important.
A second one from me is that, obviously, following you as a fan, as we have done, we follow all the social media channels that you can, whether that be Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or whatever. Everybody always comments the fact that, as far as we know, you do not have any of these platforms. Is it something you think you would ever join? Would you be willing to do one of them potentially, or join as a bit of a alias that nobody potentially knew it was you? Or
I think for me, having official Instagram channels or Twitter would be super distracting.
Okay.
I'm also an emotional person, so that would be really not beneficial if I were to post things. I also believe that as a team principal, I'm running an F1 team, and I don't believe that having an Instagram profile makes any sense. I'm not keen in taking selfies of myself or posing for the camera, and sports people or entertainment stars need to do that because it's their profile, but no, these channels are nothing for me.
I think there's quite a few people that would probably like to see some of your reactions post-race, maybe even during a race. We always love to see you on either Sky or any other network that's obviously broadcasting what you think. I think you always give us a good, honest assessment, really. There's not really a kind of gloss over, cover up of trying to get away with anything. It's always very open and honest, which again, as fans, we really appreciate.
I think what I try to always, the standard I try to live to professionally and in my personal life is being authentic. And sometimes that comes across maybe emotional or negative, but the moment, I don't want to change my face, just because I'm speaking to the media. That's how I am.
I think it's also important for the fans that how we feel is pretty much along the lines of how you feel. And when you say it, we think, okay, the team is aware of how we feel. They know how we all feel. They feel it too. So like I say, it's just a good sort of message, I think, across the board. So this is a question from LinkedIn, and it says, what is the biggest challenge you're facing going into the 2024 season?
Is to set the expectations right, because we have a huge mountain to climb. There's a team that is so successful and a gap to close. At the same time, I believe we've taken some really proactive steps in order to close that gap. Is it going to be good enough? I don't know, but we're going to see it in testing and then in the first race of Bahrain, and I'm super excited. I'd like to, start going now.
Yeah, perfect.
It's a stopwatch that's going to tell us.
Absolutely, it never lies, as you always
Exactly.
say. But I think that's all we've got time for. So again,
Tom,
thank you
very
so much for having me here. Like I say, it was an absolute privilege. So good luck for everything in 2024. We'll all be rooting for you from home and at the racetrack. So good luck.
Thank you. Keep supporting us.
Oh, we will, 100%.